All right. Representative George Santos. What
Who?
a scumbag. So he was recently elected to the House of Representatives for New York, but voters soon found out he lied about his entire life, his entire biography. For one, he claimed he owned a $1 million apartment in Brazil and his family owned 13 real estate properties. Well, nope. He's living with his sister who was about to be evicted. He said he graduated summa cum laude from Baruch College, scoring a 710 on his GMAT and his master's from New York University. Nope.
Wow.
Dude never even looked at a college application. He said he worked for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup. Nope. He maybe got a couple of emails from him a couple times, but he even claimed, he went as far as to claim his Jewish grandparents fled Europe to avoid the Holocaust. Nope. Come to find out he's not even Jewish. Instead, he says he identifies as Jewish.
What?
The list of lies goes on and on. There's a ton, right? So the new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is supporting this guy, mostly because he has a small majority in the House, 4 people. He needs every single vote he can get. But in response to Santos lying about his resume, he said, quote, "So did a lot of people here in the Senate." So my question, is it okay to lie to get elected? And should people caught in lies be removed? Johnny, what are your thoughts?
No, it's not okay to lie to be elected, although I know a lot of people do. And no, it's not okay. And yes, you should be removed. But here's the kicker. I think that if you are somebody who is making real impactful change, people like you, you're doing the right things, and you have lied to get to that spot, maybe because you want to help the people so bad, and so you're like, this is the only way. I'm biased because I'm not mad at that, because I feel like although your credentials were not true, if the impact you're doing, the work you're doing now is actually helping people and doing something right, then I think that you should stay. But essentially, to lie to people to be able to get what you want seems honestly probably more common than we choose to believe. But I don't think that it's right. I don't think that it's right.
Fair. Johnny, it's, padding your resume is one thing. I mean, everybody pads their resume. But this guy lied. He misrepresented his education, his work history, his family, his financials, everything. So if I can't trust you with the small stuff, how can I trust you with the big stuff? This is an axiom we throw around work quite a bit, and this really applies, because if you lied to get to where you are, you cheated, you stole, how can I trust you to effectively do that job? So I have a really hard time buying into this Robin Hood kind of myth that you've got going on. Well, despite the means, he's still doing something good. No. But I mean, in the real work world, if you lie on your resume, if you lie about your qualifications, you can be dismissed with cause. Yeah. And there's a strong likelihood that by the end of the day, you will be escorted out the front door along with your shameful banker's box that you get to keep. Here, you get to keep this, but nothing else, because you lied. You don't have the qualifications.
On top of that, Robbie, to your point, on top of that, you would not receive any type of security clearance in any way, shape, or form. I mean, and this guy has the potential, depending on what McCarthy decides to do in terms of putting him on committees, has the potential to be on committees where classified information is given. Right. And this is clearly a con man, right? Mm-hmm. He's been conning people for years. And he had a Ponzi scheme going on that the SEC was investigating him for. So
No, he claimed that it was 100% legitimate when they investigated it in 2020. So, oops, horrible. I guess it was a Ponzi.
I mean, I'm really concerned. Like you said, if it was your resume or anything like that, you'd be fired, no question. If it was a federal employee, any other federal employee or civil servant, you'd be fired. no question, right? So why are we
Yeah.
able to treat representatives? I get he was elected, but when we're talking about the type of lies that this guy has told, um, you know, McCarthy won't even send it to the ethics committee at this point.
That's at the very least, it's a breach of ethics, and it's
Absolutely.
the last. The previous administration really brought out that there needs to be a huge ethics sweeps done throughout your entire political system, that people need to be held to a
Yes.
higher account, because it's become so
Yes.
undeniably and overtly corrupt. This is a perfect example. I fronted you a damn near completely fabricated resume, and politicians they're populists. It's If I don't know anything about you, I'm going to read what's on paper. I'm going to listen to the message that comes from you and your party. But then if I come to find that it's
Right.
completely falsified,
Lies.
then who did I put in office? I should have the right to say, well, no, I don't want this fool representing me, because I don't know who he is. Nobody knows who he really is.
Sorry,
It's
Kevin.
true.
Kevin, that's good. Go again.
No, I was saying, how did he even get the clearance? Like, they don't call, like they don't call the employer to see if
You need
like,
references. Check the references. It's there's something wrong with the political system that we're just
horrible.
there's something wrong with it. There's definitely something
It's
wrong. There should be a way that we don't allow certain types of people into office. There should just be a guide to certain types of people cannot get in office. If you've lied about your resume, if you've done this, if you stolen taxes, if you've stolen money, if you're an ex-con, there should be some reasonable expectation that, because people voting for people don't know these things. It is up for the news media to investigate and all that good stuff. But if I'm a voter, I don't know who's honest or who's truthful. I may have voted for the con man and not realize it. So you can't blame the voters. So who solves that problem? There has to be a solution to this. So Kevin Thaxton had me laughing because he said, Nix, that's what I'm worried about. Getting classified documents. He says, but folks have classified documents to read on the toilet these days. Referring to, obviously, the last two presidents who have taken classified documents home.
And he doubled down it with, if you marry Soviet spies.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Trump. Okay.
Kevin.
So Sonia C. Elias says it's not okay, but the majority in those positions do lie. And she's not wrong, right?
Big time.
So what do we do? What do we do, Gianni? How do we fix this problem? Come on, you got something for me. I know you do.
All right, this is what I think. I think that we need to do a sweep of office of everybody in our entire government system. We need to just, I don't want to say everybody should fall, but I feel like the majority, because the system is already corrupt. So we need to sweep, and then we need to start implementing new people that actually care about their neighbors and their humanity around them, because that's the only way you're going to get real results. We keep thinking that these people care about us, and they don't.
Yeah, you're right. The system does foster corruption. The way it's designed, does foster. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So Jacqueline Robinson online said he didn't just embellish his resume, he literally fabricated an entire life he didn't have. He's a career criminal and a con man. The only person he's helping is himself. The residents of New York didn't vote for George Santos. As New York Times readers noted, he's a fictional character and a collection of molecules walking the halls. Oh, that's funny. Oh, and his mother died twice. Oh, that's right. That's right. That was one of the other lies. Apparently, his mother died on 9/11 and then later died from, quote unquote, from being at 9/11. So from cancer later.
What? He tried to make his life so interesting. Like, his life could be a movie, actually.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Jewish grandparents, 9/11, everything, just throwing everything in there.
She also said this is epic malpractice by Democrats in New York. There were almost 90 pages of opposition research on this guy, and they did nothing with it until it was way too late. That's a really good point, actually.
That
We
is,
didn't
yeah.
actually discuss because, I mean, I said it was up to the news media, but it is actually up to the opponent to get that information out there, to investigate and make sure they have the right information, and to, when you go into debate, say, hey, what did you do? Were you really at Goldman Sachs?
That's true.
So yeah, this is actually a failure of the Democrats as well. That's a really good point.
I wonder how Republicans feel about this guy. I haven't heard any.
Oh yeah, no. So the Republican, so obviously in the House, McCarthy wants to keep as many votes as possible, because
right.
what'll happen is if they dismiss George Santos, then it goes to basically a re-election. They basically do the election again, and because this guy was pretty lied
popular.
And actually, the Republican Party in New York has called him out and asked him to resign. It's likely that if there's another election, that the Democrat would probably win, just because nobody's gonna. You've already been duped once by the Republican Party, and this was traditionally a Democratic area as well. Matter of fact, Biden won the county in when he was running for president by a lot, apparently. So.
Maybe the Democrats did that so that it could be like a public thing, so that we could scrutinize this guy, and then he doesn't run that area anymore. Like the Republicans, like maybe they waited for it to come out and be a bigger thing than it was to. I don't know.
Yep.
It's theory.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. Is this truth? Lies. Well, this is an obvious one.
This is a whole lot of lies.
Whole lot of lies.
Lies and shenanigans going on. This dude, lies and shenanigans.
Liar.
But he is definitely.
Liar.
I mean, this got to be one of the worst liars in Congress ever. I mean, he's got to.
He's earned my special sign. He's earned my special.
He's full of it.
He sure is.
He had to have set some kind of record or something for number of lies told. I mean, I know Trump told a bunch of lies, but still, I mean, this is like,
right. It's that old.
Lie.
How can you tell when he's lying? His lips are moving.
right, literally.